Today on Pro Church Daily, we're sharing the ultimate event promotion system for churches.
Well, hey there, and welcome to Pro Church Daily, the show where in 10 minutes or less you'll get your daily dose of tips and tactics to help your church share the message of Jesus while we navigate the biggest communication shift we've seen in the last 500 years. I'm your host, Alex Mills. I'm joined as always by the boss man, it's Brady Shearer, and today we're talking about the ultimate event promotion system for churches.
One problem that a lot of churches find themselves facing is event promotion and kind of creating a system to manage it all. Because almost every church has multiple departments. You've got, the Sunday morning, and you've got the students, and you've got the kids, and you've got the men and the women, and that's just for an average church. The bigger you get, or even for smaller churches, just because you're big doesn't mean you have more or less programs and departments. A lot of the time, smaller churches actually have more. And so now it's like, how do we keep the men's ministry happy? Because they need promotion, but then the student ministry needs stuff too, and then our Sunday morning, and how do we keep everyone happy? And now my creative ministry department, we're completely strung out because we can't keep up with the deadlines, and we're saying no to people, and now there's these internal politics, and people are upset at me, but it wasn't my fault, they came in late. You need a system.
Yeah.
So we created this ultimate system for promotions within your church. Number of different steps to get started. The first step is this. What you want to do is you want to take inventory of all the different communication channels that your church uses. So, for example, email blast, social media post, and I would break down social media post into each platform. So a Facebook post, an Instagram post, a Facebook Live, a video promo, a stage announcement, a text message, a before service slideshow, an above the urinal poster, whatever you use. Yeah. I need an exhaustive list of every single way that you could, would, and do promote events or whatever you're promoting within your church.
Okay.
Take inventory. Write them all down in a list. That's step one. Step two is you want to assign a numerical value between 1 and 10 to each of these individual promotion channels based on how much time, energy, money, and attention equity it takes for each of the channels.
Right.
And I want to define that final phrase, attention equity, because it sounds a little bit like, what the heck is that?
Right.
Basically what it means is that, sure, every time you do a promotion, it takes a little bit of time, money, and creative energy. And these are the normal resources that we consider when we're putting together an event promotion. I was like, well, we can't put together a video, we don't have the time. We can't do a social media post, we've spent all our Facebook ad budget.
Yeah.
Attention equity is something that most of us don't consider. But attention equity has to do with how much your audience is able to put up with promotions and still actually hear them and take action with them. So this is why we do 2 big launch weeks every single year for Pro Church Tools. And the other 50 weeks of the year is just free content, free content, free content. Yeah. Because if we were always promoting every single week, hey, nucleus, 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 people would be like, I don't want to hear about nucleus anymore. Yeah. Heck, within that individual week, it can get a bit tiring.
Yeah, of course.
But we know that within that week, once that week is done, we'll be good for the rest of the year. And so the same thing happens with your church. You've got to consider attention equity. If you're doing video promos every single week, eventually that video won't have as much of an impact as it once did. If you're doing 25 stage announcements every single week, stage announcements will become useless very quickly. Yeah. So you want to assign a numerical value to each. So for example, maybe a video promo gets a 10 because it costs the most money, takes the most amount of time, and in service is going to be 5 minutes. And so that's a ton of attention. Whereas maybe a social media post, it only gets a 2 because, not everyone's going to see it. Organic reach isn't what it used to be, and you can whip that together in 5 minutes and post it.
Yeah.
So now what you have is you have every single channel with a numeric value attached, steps 1 and 2. Step 3 is to allocate each ministry or each department in your church a certain number of credits for each quarter. So break the year up into quarters. This is the way that I like to do it. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, each is 3 months. So we're just entering into Q2 now, April through June, April, May, and June. So every quarter, they get a certain number of credits. And the number of credits is going to be completely determinant on how capable and diverse and broad your creative or communication department is. Okay. So if you have one person, you're going to have a lot less credits than if you have a full department of videographers and social media peeps and web developers and the like. And so these credits should be determined on what you can actually do. So you need to actually add up all of the different numeric values and be like, okay, in a quarter, we could do 3 video promos, 85 stage announcements, 120 social media posts, and basically now you have this like total number of credits. And then you want to allocate those to each department. You can allocate them equally. You can allocate them based on size. You can allocate them based on importance. Right. But now what you have is you have every single ministry, and they have, let's say the men's ministry, we have 35 credits. And now they are the ones that determine how to spend those credits within your communication system.
Wow.
And there are a number of different benefits to actually doing this. The first benefit is now every ministry is now in charge. They have the autonomy of their own promotions. And this is huge because ministries want to feel like, look, I know as the women's ministry that this Saturday brunch is going to be the make or break for our year.
Right.
And you know what? You as the creative ministry might be like, nah, I'm not about that.
Yeah.
But that becomes difficult because they're like, no, I know it is. And then it's hard for you to get behind that, but you're like, I feel like I should. You want them to feel like they have that autonomy to make the decision. But you also, as the creative department, need to be the actually ones making that final piece of creative.
Right.
And you need to feel like you have the bandwidth to actually do it. And this leads to the second benefit of this. When you have set up a creative promotion system like this, you, the creative ministry, are not at the beck and call of every other department. Now, the women's ministry, for instance, not to pick on the women here, if they're the problem department that's always coming and like, look, it's only been, I know you need to have this video ready in 5 hours before service, but we need a full testimony video for our Saturday brunch.
Yeah.
And you're like, get out of here.
Right.
And this is one thing that I overlook, but I want to get back to, and that you also need to have a deadline for when each of these promotion elements needs to be in by. So if you know a video is going to take 30 days, you cannot then cash in any later than that.
Yeah.
Like it has to be in before that deadline limit.
Makes sense.
Add that to the numeric value, put it in paper, and that way if someone comes to you and says, we need this social media post, you're like, look, I need 24 hours notice and it's only 16 hours. I can't do it. You have the sheet. You agreed to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. Now
Yeah.
it's the sheet's fault and not your fault.
There you go.
Final benefit I want to hit on is that what this does is and this is one of the most important, I think, it instills the value of creativity into other departments.
I love that.
Most departments don't understand what it takes to put together a video.
No.
They just don't. And this
But they all want one.
Exactly. And this isn't meant to be condescending, but it's almost like teaching a child the value of money. When you're a kid, you don't know anything about money. You just assume you can have anything and everything. You give your child an allowance and you say, look, this is how much you have to spend. Now they recognize, oh, money has this value. Same thing with all the other departments. Give them these credits. When they're gone, they're gone. These are the deadlines. You got to have it in before that or we can't do it. And now they understand what it takes. And now you have a more harmonious relationship between departments and creativity, and everything's getting made on time. You've got the bandwidth to do it, which means higher quality promotions, and everyone's happy.
I love this, and I love implementing these system and structures into what we're doing in church, whether they're big or small. You know, we're recording this right before Easter, and I work in a church, and if you're listening to this and you work in a church, you're probably with me in the fact that these events usually sneak up on us pretty quickly. It's like, oh, it's April and Easter's right around the corner, and so we get busy planning the actual events. And then the promotion of it is like we're scrambling to promote it and everything's happening last minute because it's all happening so fast, life is so busy, this and that. But if you use a system or a structure just like this or similar to this and get that as part of your culture, I really think it's going to make planning for these events, not only planning for these events and looking ahead into the future, foreseeing what needs to be done, but planning the promotions, which is ultimately what's informing your community about these events. It's super important. Planning the promotions ahead of time and staying ahead of the game as opposed to working from behind all the time when these events are coming up. You know what I mean?
Here's how to get this implemented into your church. You sit down and do the work, steps 1 and 2. Make a list of every single promotional channel. Assign a numeric value to each. Put a deadline on each one of those. And then go to your pastor, go to your senior leadership and be like, look, these are all the benefits we're going to get from implementing this. I'm going to be able to do better work, and I'm going to be able to deliver every single time. No more saying no.
Yeah.
And all the other departments will feel like they're the ones in charge, and they can decide what's most important and what's not. And it's going to make everybody happier, more harmonious relationships.
That's good.
You get them all to agree, get them all to sign off. And then when the first conflict arises, you're like, look, we had our meeting. You signed off on this. I don't have enough time to do this. You don't have enough credits to make it happen. Now, you don't have to worry about those interpersonal relationships or the conflicts because everyone agreed to the system, and now you got to work within the system. You can't just break the rules. Someone picks up the ball and starts running in basketball, that's a violation.
Yeah.
But that's because we agree to the rules beforehand.
That's good.
That's how to implement it. And that'll do it for today's episode of Pro Church Daily. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode of Pro Church Daily. Make sure to subscribe to the Pro Church Tools channel so you never miss another video.
And if you like this video, why don't you go ahead and smash the like button?
Smash it! See you tomorrow.